You ready? We'll just go till your thing
I'm ready.
dies or until you get tired of me. You ready?
Going to what?
Until your charger dies or until you get tired of me.
We got 19%.
Got it. All right. All right. Well, welcome back to What the Frapp. I'm your host, J-Zilla, as usual. And today with me, I have a wonderful guest, the beautiful Carly. Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're going to do that again. What happened to your alignment? You're like, otherwise we have text
We
doing
got the
this.
think big. We got the think big.
That's it. You
You
right. You
never
right.
know.
You right. All right. So we'll go again.
We walk in greatness.
You
Go.
ready?
Yes. Hey, slow down on that drink. Cause I ain't
That's the
drinking. So
only
you slow
one I
down.
know. But you got your water being all responsible. All right. Well, welcome back to What the Frap. I'm your host, J-Zilla. And I have with me today a very special guest, the beautiful Carly. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for having
No
me. How
problem.
are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing
What's
good.
so funny?
Cause you already asked me
Did I do the double
that.
thing? Ah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to leave that in. That's okay. I try only to edit stuff that, has to do with the guests. Like, I need this
That
for
makes
me
sense.
to just be out there, man.
Hey,
Right.
that's the best way.
All right. So tell me a little bit about yourself, man. It's been a while since I've seen you. And you're making all these moves. You're
Yeah.
working with my sister. You got your own podcast thing going. You got the government job. Like, what's going on, man? That's a lot.
Oh, man. All right. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget everything that I do. I still have my 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I do consider myself a risk guru, so I have all type of hustles. I sell accessories.
Mm.
I do the podcast. I've procrastinated a lot about my podcast. It's called Singlelations. I went through the pandemic and I thought about it. I started it July of 2020 and I sat on it.
Mm.
I sat on it and it was one of those moments to where I was like, just do it, release it. I released my first episode. I got feedback from it and I think that's what made it a big mistake was asking for feedback on how I thought and my perspective of things.
Mm.
So that's what brought me back to redoing it. And now instead of asking for feedback, it's more of it's my opinion. I own it. If you don't like it, that's cool. What's your opinion about it to start a conversation or to get the conversation not just around singles, but day to day issues like self love, self care? What does it look like for me? Um, Relationships, marriage, you name it. I want to dive into it, but in my point of
Mm-hmm.
view, yeah.
I like
So
it.
that's just a few things that I've been doing outside of, as you stated, I also do juice, vlog, blog with Juice Daily, which is a community outreach. Get involved with the community as much as possible with small businesses. So yeah, that's just a few things that I have under
Just a
my belt right
few,
now.
just a few, she says. Very modest. And
Just
she
a
humble
few
too,
things.
y'all. Watch out. Yeah, man.
Just a
So
few.
what made you
Can't tell everybody everything.
That's true, that's true. I do want to know what really made you want to start a podcast in particular?
Whew. Um. So I'm gonna just go right into it. The name of my podcast is called Singlelations.
Hmm.
It March was it March? Yeah. So March the pandemic happened, and I was going through like a back and forth relationship, a long term
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And when I say long term, over 7.5 years, maybe longer. Um, and when the pandemic hit, I was just like, I can't do this. My feet were already out the door, but
Mm-hmm.
I was still toggling back and forth in the relationship. Not saying, he wasn't my man, my boyfriend at the time, that we were going back and forth, but I was just tired.
Mm.
Um, and when I stepped out and just stopped communicating with him, I wasn't ready to date. And then when I did decide to, okay, I'm gonna start dating, it was odd, it was awkward because it had been so long since I just really explored the dating and what dating looks like. Um, Things have changed. This was like back, what, 7, 8 years ago now, when I was like dating him. It's like, ooh, I don't miss this. I don't miss being single because now people have like all these rules and regulations of how single people should act and
Mm-hmm.
behave. And I'm like, why? This is our opportunity to live. This is our opportunity to find ourselves, to be able to step into marriage, step into long term
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So that kind of inspired me to talk about it because I was talking about it like with your sister. I get off a date, or I'm dating this guy and he do something stupid, and I'm just like, red flag. Nope, 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 nope. You remind me of somebody. It was my ex, but this is something I said I'll never do. I'm not gonna settle. I'm not gonna do this. I don't have to. This is my time. This is my space. So it prompted me to talk about it. Like I stated, my very first episode was like all over the place because I was just like,
But let me
it
tell
wasn't as
you,
organized.
I really, really like that one. I didn't realize that, I mean, I don't know how far, but, how much of a peek behind the curtain you're wanting people to have. But when we had our conversation, and I thought, like, man, okay, I see what you're doing. And you're like, no, actually, it's just because, that's the only opinion I
Yes,
had.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, starting off, I want it to be as simple as possible. I don't want to overcomplicate it.
Mm.
Um, but it's turned into like I didn't do it this past Wednesday, due to just trying to get ready for this
Mm-hmm.
weekend, travel. So I was like, I'm not, again, this is me. It's my baby. So I don't have to rush my baby.
That's it.
I don't need nobody's permission to push my baby out. I can take a break when I want to. I can come back when I want to. But I love the response from people that's been listening. I've released 3 episodes and a trailer, and I had like 10, 15 people from different areas like, hey, is everything okay? Do you need help? I didn't hear it this Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, what? It made me feel good. And I'm like, no, everything's okay. So this upcoming Wednesday, I'm going to do 2 episodes because there's been some crazy stuff that happened this week with me
Ooh,
and this
good.
single shit. Yeah, it's some tea shit. So
Yeah.
just know the stuff that's gonna be said, it's gonna be real life. It's like real life,
I can't
what
wait.
I'm going through or what my friends going through.
Yeah, I like that, man. Staying in your own experience or the experience that, of people that you trust, right? It's something
Right.
we talk about a lot here at our house, right? Especially in today's climate where you have a lot of people with a lot of opinions and a lot of different ways to
Right.
get those opinions out. Good, bad, or ugly,
hmm
you know?
Right.
Excuse me. Let's see, I got my little mute button. You didn't hear my cough, did you? Now,
I did.
now, look at me. No, but like, so some of this stuff where, you have people, they feel very strongly about their opinion, which is great. Um, I don't understand when people get upset when you ask for like references. You know what I mean? I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. What'd you find? It's like you got the truth is out there. You just got to look. It's like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like if I'm,
When people give such hard, like where's the evidence? Yeah,
yeah,
I got you.
and
Yeah.
it's not like I think that they don't have any, but just to
Yeah.
afraid like kind of pose it that way of like you have to get out there and do your own work, which you do, But like, if I'm in a position
Mhm.
of I'm looking for your help and I'm asking you a direct question, like, help me
Yeah.
out. You should be
Right.
happy to just be like, okay, go here, here, and here. And then when I watch that, I went down here and watched that too. But you got to watch that one. You know what I mean? Just keep going.
Yeah.
But,
But people aren't. Everybody isn't like you,
mm,
because how you shared your information with me. Everyone isn't like that at all. Some people are like more of, they don't understand that it's so much information that it's okay to be that person that people go to. And sometimes once you get really good at what you're doing, you can possibly charge them. You can make money from it,
mm,
because now I'm putting in all the work to give it to you. So what am I gaining? Everybody can say, "Oh, it's a love, it's a passion," but I'm a businesswoman. Like, I'm
capitalist.
a single woman. Hello, I'm a single woman in America. I don't think people understand that I don't get the stimulus every time it came out. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like I have to find creative ways. So it might seem like, hey, after I've told you one, two, three times, all right, so let's put a pause on this and let me get the calculator out, because now I'm gonna have to start charging you, or you need to start referring somebody to me so I can start charging them.
Right.
Make it work.
I like watching this show on HBO. What is it? Ballers? Where it follows
I haven't seen it.
it follows an NFL player, The Rock, who's retired and
Hmm.
all that good stuff. And he's decided to go into financial advisory or something, advising, and something in that kind of realm. Because basically, he was a football player who got messed up over a couple of contracts, and people were robbing him, all kinds of stuff, right?
Hmm.
So when he got into the business, it's a very like wholesome, idealistic, like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna keep these NFL players from going broke, like I did. Like I'm the perfect guy, because he lived the life, right? He was a player.
Right.
He lived the life. He got injured. He has that story to all this stuff, right? And he finds it more difficult because he had trouble monetizing his friendships. Now, I'm not saying like
Mm.
borrow, take advantage, but monetize it. Carla, if
Yeah.
you have expertise in a certain area, right? If we can work and have a symbiotic relationship and we both benefit from it, why not? You know,
Right.
what do you think it is with, especially people from our community, that lack of trust, right? That whole, I'm gonna do it
Right.
myself. I don't need nobody type attitude. Where do you think
Right.
that comes
So
from?
you had I think it comes from the seeing other people do it. I'm gonna say, let's start there, because it's selfish. It's selfish not to understand that there's money for all of us. Is this there's a If we could mount together like other communities, let's say it Asians, whites, if we can do like they're doing in different avenues, we can all be making a lot of money. We can all be millionaires, thousandaires. But we're selfish. Our parents, our grandparents, they were, hey, we got this idea and we don't show you how to do it. We're just gonna keep on giving you this, that, and when you ask for help, like you just mentioned, we're gonna tell you, oh, well, go to Google and just do the research. You'll find it. That's how I did it. Versus, okay, let's sit down, let's talk about it, let's have a meeting, and okay, I'll help you out this time, one or two times, and then if you still don't get it, time is money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of people don't have that concept. They wasn't raised like that. Like, we were raised different. I've been around your family for 10 years now, exactly 10 years. I've known your sister, known your mom. So we're raised differently, because I can call your sister and, hey, we could talk about an idea. She can call me and we could talk about an idea. If I get a hold to something that I didn't know, but it's going to help me, that's my best friend.
Right. Right.
I need you on this money train with me. Whether we fail at it or succeed in it, we got to get this money, because your family is my family is your family. Let's get it. How you raise, what we've seen, the patterns. It's just that's my perspective, is that that's where it happens. But those generation curses, certain people, in order to stop them, we have to, hey, once they recognize it, what are you going to do when you recognize it? Are you going to help somebody? Or are you just going to still sit on it like your grandparents or your parents did?
Right, all the information, and that's an interesting point that you
Right.
just had. If you look at some of these more, I guess, cultures back east, like not New York East, but like Asia East, right?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
you.
because I'm in New Mexico. For anybody who doesn't know, so I
Hmm.
always get confused with that. And the what do you call it? The time zones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we know.
Sorry again. I was late. I was so late. Anyway, so yeah, so those cultures were there. You talk about just raised differently. They really revere the elderly. You know, you
Right.
you go from being taken care of by your father to taking care of your father. And it's just a natural transition. Like this is
Yep.
what's supposed to happen, and you have all that conservatism. You have all that wisdom, all that knowledge, right there,
Right.
right. And then you, in
Hmm.
your youth, right, you're just starting a family. Maybe you're just getting married. You're kind of pushing forward, and changing things. You just said something about being
Right.
a code breaker, or not code breaker, curse breaker, right? So it's the
Yes.
same sort of thing. Whereas here is like, all right, now I'm out on my own. I'm gonna do my own thing, and everything's so individualized. I gotta get mine. I gotta cheat you before you cheat me. I. Everything
Hmm.
is I. But I would love to
Right.
see us get to a point where we can just pull resources, which isn't just money. It's time, it's
Right.
wisdom, it's all of everything.
Right.
I'd love to see that.
Harvest, all of it.
Right, right. So now you started your podcast from a relationship. I'm assuming this is a bad relationship. Am I allowed to say that? Mm,
Mm, man, it was a crazy relationship.
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
it was good and bad. I mean, to be with somebody that long, it was love. It was how I defined love. I loved myself. I loved him. I knew the situation when I got in it. He was younger than me, 4 years younger than me. So the maturity, I knew it wasn't there at all. But I loved his zeal. I loved his passion. I loved his potential. Um,
Ooh,
so
that's a tough one.
right, yeah, I loved his potential. We broke up, made up so many times. The worst breakup was 4 years ago, which I should have just left then, but I wasn't ready to leave. And that's something that I tell people all the time. I don't give people advice. Oh, you should leave them. Nope. You got to leave them when you're ready. Because if you leave them on somebody else's time, you're gonna be that head space isn't gonna be right. It's gonna be, I wish I could have did this, or
Mm.
I should have, they could have did this. It's gonna always have that wonder in your head if you go by somebody else's, hey, do it, do it. No, it's good to have those friends. I had Jay Lee, I had two other best friends that helped me through it 4 years ago, but I just wasn't ready. I should have been, but I needed closure. I needed my time. I was mad. You're not gonna waste my
I hear
time.
that.
No, sir. Bring me my time back. But it's growth. I was 29, going on 30 at that time. So it was like, man, I'm finna go into 30. I'm not finna lose this. And then when I sat back, again, it took a few more years after that. When I sat back and I was just like, I'm telling you, that pandemic hit. I was like, oh, no, no, I can't die like this. I can't die in sin.
Not die.
Yes, it's a pandemic.
Mm.
And nobody knew like the cause, the effect, or anything with it. So I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh,
I thought you meant the relationship. I was like, man, what kind
no,
of
no, no,
crazy
no,
stuff
no,
going on?
no, no, no. I'm like, no, a pandemic. It that's what clicked for me. It opened my eyes that life is too short. When people was dying, like boom, 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 I was like, no, 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 no. I'm okay. I'm okay with being alone. I'm okay with getting my life together. Whatever I have to do to pray you off me, I'm okay with it. Like I was already praying them off like months prior to that even happening. But I was like, oh no, So it wasn't bad. It was just time.
Yeah. Now that's a brave thing to say. Wait till you're ready, because
Hmm.
sometimes I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I'm gonna do some mansplaining here. You ready? You ready?
Oh, okay, come on.
Okay. All right. Sometimes relationships are dangerous.
Um,
Right?
I don't have no experience of like when you say
Like
dangerous,
physical
like
violence or just a
no,
psychological, you know.
yeah. I believe I didn't experience that part because I was older. My issue, it was we had been through so much in that time frame.
Mm.
Um, good, bad, ugly, racism. I dealt with that with him because his statue is a big man, dark skinned. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
we live in Nashville, Tennessee. So we dealt with a lot of jobs that wouldn't, have to go through temp services because of his profession, and like little petty things he was getting fired for, or it was a lot of mental in the middle, like beginning, middle, and again we was on and off at the end, but it was anything you can possibly think of in a relationship. Finances was like at the top. um, Cheating was like in the middle, because at the end it was like, I don't care what you do,
Oh
I ain't doing
no.
that with you. Yeah, I was like, I wasn't there physically, mentally. I picked up when I wanted to pick up. I entertained them when I wanted to entertain them. I was really checked out. Like the last few months that we communicated on that level, I was checked out. So I didn't experience the uh, we didn't have any type of abusive hitting or anything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of cussing, screaming, arguing,
A
but
lot of passion.
nah. Yes, that led to other things, but no, it was no, no. I don't think I've ever just been in that type of relationship to where it's ever been. I'm gonna hit you. No, you're not gonna hit me. I'll shoot before anything. No,
Not the shots.
no,
Not the
no.
shots fired.
Pew, 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 pew.
Carly is loaded,
Keep your
locked
keep
in,
your
loaded. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard
keep
it.
your hands to
Keep your hands
yourself.
to yourself. I heard that.
Right. We can argue, we can agree to disagree, but I that's a whole different level when people just sit around and get hit on. Cause I'm an advocate for men and women. Cause it's men that get hit on. They get beat on and don't hit back or don't push back, don't leave. So I look at it in both views. Like it's just I think that's a totally different topic that I'm not. It's above my pay rate.
Same here. Same here. I will say though, like there's something to that though. You know, because even men
Of
can't even
course.
open up to each other or authorities. Right? Like, what do I look like? I'm 6'4". I'm a full, like, literally, like, legit. I'm a full foot taller than my wife. Right? And I'm probably around
Mm.
320 or so. I did eat some ribs last night, so maybe 322, 323, somewhere around there. So I'm a big dude, you know,
not a not a whole
not a
slab.
whole slab. So if my wife lost her temper and started punching me, like even at the point where I'm able to stop her and wait for authorities, like they're gonna look at me and look at her and be like, "Okay, you have a nice day, sir." You know what I mean? It's just a difference.
Right.
But I mean, but y'all deal with a bunch of stuff too, man. My wife literally,
Yeah.
we lived in another apartment building. She was talking like she came back in and she was like breathing hard. I was like, "What's the matter?" She's like, "I don't know. I just got like really scared just now." I was like, "What?" Because where we lived on in like a townhouse, but it was still on like the second floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was doing laundry. It was dark, right? And you literally
Oh.
like literally the laundry room is right under us basically. So she went down the stairs, went in, put the laundry in, and like came back in, like scurried in, But I thought like she's like, "You never feel like that?" I was like, "No, maybe when I get pulled
Oh.
over." You know what I mean? I'm just
Is
saying. You
that
see them
woman
lights, you start
intuition?
to
She like, yeah.
straighten up and fly right. But
Shoot.
yeah, I never. So I mean, we all have something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't imagine like what y'all go through. But we gonna mosey right on into it. So here's a question
Okay.
that I try to ask each of my guests because I'm trying to be mindful of your
Okay.
time here. If you
Yeah, because you already know. Okay, we got
7%,
7%.
yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it.
Okay.
So if you were a car personified, what car would you be and why?
I'm not a car expert, but I'm gonna tell you this. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm a big girl, so I would want. I if I was to identify with a car, I would say like, and I'm from Mississippi. I'm a country girl,
Whoop, whoop.
so I would want the right. I would want the biggest pickup truck on the lot, the prettiest pickup truck on the lot. Probably like a red, like a sparkling red. Candy. Is that a color?
Candy
Is
apple
candy
red.
red a color?
Yeah, man.
Candy apple? Yeah, like that glistening.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day with that two tone
And
paint jobs, remember those flip flops?
right. The best. Okay. I'm trying to get a charger up here so I won't
No,
like
you're
just crash
fine.
on
Just
you.
muscle. We're gonna muscle through this.
Okay. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because even if you're a big guy or a small guy or a big girl or short or tall, you have to jump in. So
Yeah.
you have to be strong enough to, I would say, mentally, physically, to handle me, jump in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Okay.
I would identify with
Okay.
like the prettiest, biggest truck on the lot.
I like it.
Pickup truck.
I know. I like it. Like I've got this weird thing. Whenever I find a place where my feet dangle off or something, like oh, I'm
Oh,
like a little kid,
when?
huh?
When?
Like a
When did that
high bar
happen?
stool or a cliff. I don't know. Whenever I can find something, yeah. Like no, it
I can't see
happens.
that
It
happening.
happens.
Oh, next time take a picture, post it, and
I
tag me.
will. I will. Because I literally like get up there, like my wife has to get me down like I'm a little kid. It's like, come on here, please. It's like, baby, look. Because everything is like I sit down, my knees are way up in my chin area. It's like,
Yeah.
so to be able to sit
Oh.
somewhere and just, hold on. I keep forgetting to look at the camera, like, but just my little feet swinging, right? Oh, that's one of my
You
favorite
probably
things.
one of
So when
those
you
big
said
old
no matter how big you
rocking
are,
chairs.
huh?
Yeah. One of those big old rocking chairs.
See, but
Ain't it like it's like a museum or something that has the big rocking chair
oh, I feel like I've
that
seen a
it
picture of
like
it.
sits
I don't
up.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now I'm gonna have to Google that.
You're right. Don't do it right now. Don't do it right now.
No, no, no,
But
no.
bookmark it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I really appreciate it. When you say like big or small, it don't matter. Like you gotta like jump up in there. Love
Yep.
that. So yeah, see, we didn't get the chance to talk about Black Lives Matter. I want to dig into this relationship thing, especially with your show. But for now, I'm just gonna have to extend another invitation. You have to come back and tell me
There you
about
go. Absolutely.
it.
I'm here for it. Oh,
Oh,
5%.
we got this. We got this. Don't worry. So, any promos or shout outs besides Singlelations? And spell that too, because
I
I was like, do I put the E in? Do I leave the E out?
yeah, so it's very, very simple. So it's gonna be single, Single, and then lations, Lations. So Singlelations.
All one word. And where can we find Singlelations?
You can find us on IG. So again, it's gonna be IG at Singlelations, Singletions. And then you can also find me on Twitter. Now, Twitter is a little different because I couldn't put Singlelation. So it's going to be the Singlelation without the S. So Singlelation without the S. And I push out a new episode every Wednesday for Wind Down Wednesday. So grab your wine, tune in no matter the time. I usually release it after 12 p.m. This upcoming Wednesday is going to be a twofer. I have 2 episodes rock and rolling before 9 p.m. Since it's going to be two, I'll release them a little later. So join me.
All right. Thank you, Miss Carly. I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.